What the fuck? Excuse me?
She's just trying to find out what happened, whether it was an alien or not.
Elisa the Fashion Police is on duty tonight.
Yes. Hello, and welcome to Pass the Hot Sauce, a Roswell podcast. I'm Eliza Ora.
And I'm Lorena Rose.
And we're here to talk about every episode of the 1999 WB series Roswell, one episode at a time, spoiler-free. Today we're discussing Season 2, Episode 18, It's Too Late and It's Too Bad.
According to IMDb, this is the one that while investigating Alex's death, Liz uncovers information that leads her to believe that the semester Alex supposedly spent in Sweden never really happened.
That happens at the very end.
I feel like a lot of other things happen in this episode. Sometimes these descriptions are so verbose, and then this one is, like, really lacking in nuance, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But this episode originally aired on April 30th, 2001, and it was directed by Patrick R. Norris, who has directed many a Roswell episode, and it was written, or developed by Jason Katims, our showrunner, and written by Gretchen J. Berg, who wrote a total of 8 episodes for Roswell, so we've talked about her before, and she produced a lot of season 2 and 3 also, I realized. Looking at her credits this time, she produced like 23 episodes, I think. So,
oh wow,
so she's been really involved in the series as well.
Cool. We got some Roswell veterans on this one, which is good because it's this is an intense time in the series where we need the writers who really know our characters and how they're going to be going through this. Yeah. So we start our episode with our, like, weird intro again. I mean, I'm not going to stop complaining about it. Sorry, listeners. It's just Maria narrating in front of a chalkboard. Alex is dead. Liz is on a crusade. It's not an accident. It's alien-related. The Pod Squad is not happy. Now we know what happened. Yeah, I like that she refers to them as the Pod Squad, though. Me too. I always love hearing Pod Squad. Yes, I think it's so cute. Especially because we're a podcast. We can be a pod squad, too. Exactly. It's so perfect for us. Because we are a pod squad. Also, at the very end, she's talking about Liz kind of investigating. And it goes to Liz, a clip of Liz saying, "I'm going to find out the truth." And then Maria says, "And believe me, she will." She will. Dun, which, dun, dun. It's not exactly spoilery, but it, like, gives you just that little bit that you're like, so what is the truth? I need to know. We must know. We must know. Investigate, Liz. Investigate. And especially now that we know that, like, the ratings were kind of down and they were, like, really focused on ratings. Yeah. And that's why they even put this cold open in at all. I feel like this was a good move if you're, like, trying to pull people in and make sure they watch next week. And much like Buffy, it's after season 2 here that this switched to UPN, right? That it moved networks for the 3rd season. Yeah, I think so. It wasn't between season 1 and 2. It was between season 2 and 3. No. Yeah. So, I mean, their ratings haul didn't work for their own network, but it did get saved by another network, which is pretty cool. So, Liz and Maria are in Alex's room. They're supposed to both be getting stuff together for the yearbook spread, the, dedication that they're doing for him. Or that Maria is doing for him. Right. They, quote unquote. Yeah. On paper, they are, but it's really just Maria. I must call attention to the outfit that Maria is wearing. Okay. She is wearing this, like, Argyle sweater, like, sweatshirt. I think it's like a zip up with a hood. Yes. But it's like Argyle and, like, fuzzy looking, like almost velour. And this, like, chunky gold necklace. I'm not into it. I'm pretty sure I definitely had a sweater like that back in the day. But not so much the chunky gold necklace. And it's like the two of them together, for me, just took it over the edge and, like, crossed the line. Yeah. Elisa the Fashion Police is on duty tonight. Yes. But yeah, Liz is really not helping at all. And she's being rude to Alex's dad. She's being so rude. A man who just lost his son. Yeah, she's very,
very caught up in what she's doing, and that's not going to change anytime in this episode, but we're seeing it early on. She's just completely engulfed in this idea that she has, that she needs to prove.
Yeah, they're really setting the scene here for, like, you know, Liz is really just so focused on this and, like, not paying attention to anyone else, not caring about anyone else.
Yeah, and Maria is upset about Alex, obviously. Maria's upset about the dissension in the ranks and that the aliens are not speaking to the humans and that nobody is getting along, and she hasn't even spoken to Michael, so she has a lot to be distressed about, and Liz is really just in her own world and not seeing that her best friend is suffering.
Yeah, I mean, they're both dealing with this differently. I would say Maria in a much healthier way.
Yes, but then we wouldn't have good TV. If everyone just handled things in a healthy manner, we wouldn't have TV.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, we like talked about the stages of grief last episode, and obviously they're all still going through them, you know, and they are at different stages, clearly, right? Like Maria and Liz are clearly not
on the same page.
You know, like I think Maria has gotten a lot farther because she has been allowing herself to feel her grief, you know, and like is kind of, you know, almost out of her depression. Like we saw her in the depression stage last episode. She had gotten to like what looked like the depression stage and now is, you know, coming to acceptance and kind of recognizing like our friend died and like we need to be there for each other and to remember him and, you know, whereas Liz is, I don't know, like in the bargaining stage, I would say, like feeling like she needs to do something about it. Like that'll change something.
Yeah.
You know?
But because she's bargaining, she finds this file that's like hidden within a folder, hidden within a folder, hidden within a folder on Alex's computer that is like the only thing on his computer that's locked. And luckily, Alex has let Maria use his email before, to which I say, why? Like,
yeah,
everybody has like an AOL or a Hotmail by now. Why does she need his email? Like, she should have her own email. But anyway, she has used his email and she knows his password. Which
reveals this document that just says over and over and over again, like old-timey chalkboard punishment.
Yes.
Leanna is not Leanna.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. Also, we forgot to mention, she also found a condolence card from the Olsens.
That's right.
Right,
she
from
did.
His host family in Sweden.
Which will become important later, so thank you for remembering.
Yeah, right. And also Maria is really upset with Liz, you know? She's like, it's immoral. You know, Alex's dad let us in here for this and you're snooping.
Yeah. Like, let it be, let it rest, and... Yeah.
But then they find Leanna is not Leanna, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe there is something weird happening here.
Take it away, Dido. Opening credits.
Sing it, girl. All right, so we have a lot of school in this episode.
We do, yes. Main filming locale.
Yeah. First, we start in the hallway. So Liz is, like, interrogating a computer nerd about this binary code.
Yes.
Being like, but what does this one mean specifically?
Yeah.
That's not exactly how binary works. You can't just, like, look at it and be like, oh, it says this.
No, you can't. Remember? I tried it last episode, and I was like, well, what happens if you tell it to translate to a word? Oh, it's like the letter A is the only thing it can parse. And, like, what happens if you, like, make it numbers? Like, and it just, binary needs more context, because if everything's going to be made out of ones and zeros, there's a lot of different combinations of ones and zeros.
And I think that was, like, kind of what he was saying, is that, like, it needs context. And then Max, you know, she sees Max and Tess and is just, like, dismisses the nerdy boy.
Yeah. Ugh, and Max is trying to control everybody, and I don't like it. I do not.
King Max really comes out in this episode.
Yes, he does. And later...
King Max might need his own jingle.
Ugh. King Max is like my least favorite Max.
Oh, yeah, it would be like a I hate you jingle for sure. I'll think about it.
Cool. Yeah. King Max is trying to control everybody, and I am not here for it. I do love how calm Liz is through the situation of ex-boyfriend / not really even friend right now / potential foe is like coming at her, and she just is very calm about it. She is just like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you cannot stop me.
He I don't know. He's like freaking out that like it's going to expose them. I think that like I think there's more conversation about it later, but like her investigation hasn't involved aliens at all. She's just looking into what happened.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get information. She's not going around, calling people being like, was it an alien? Like she's just trying to get information.
She doesn't believe it was a suicide, and so she is investigating because the police are not.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like, I mean, I don't want to say typical grief behavior, but she can't be the only person in the history of the universe who has not been willing to accept that a loved one committed suicide and tried to find other reasons.
No, I would assume that it's common. It's, it's a hard thing to accept. And this is her way of dealing with her grief, avoiding it. But this is, this is what her grief is looking like right now. But also like, I don't see how, even if it was an alien, how it makes it like Max's fault. Yeah. Right? Like, is Grant Sorensen's death Max's fault? Like, is everything Max's fault if it's an alien?
No, it's not. But I can see how the aliens would place blame on themselves just because, like, even though it's not fair to themselves to place blame on themselves, but, like, the mindset that, like, none of this would have ever happened if I hadn't been here. It's not your fault you're here. Your parents sent you here. But none of this would have happened if we weren't here. The Gandarian wouldn't be here if we weren't here. So Grant Sorensen wouldn't have been taken over by it. And, sort of the same in this. Even if it was some shapeshifter or a skin or some other alien was involved, would those aliens be in Roswell if they weren't trying to seek out the Royal Four?
Right. No, and I get them feeling that way themselves, but like it's not fair for Liz to be like, it could be your fault.
Yeah.
When it's like, they didn't ask for this life. Like, they didn't ask for bad aliens to be coming after them, But anyway, the music room, I believe. Yeah. Safe to assume from all the like music notes and symbols all over the walls.
Safe bet. And Liz is playing around with those ones and zeros, trying to find more context for them.
Also, she mentions that the Leanna document was created on January 16th.
Yes.
Which, like, I have no idea how that fits into, like, where we are right now, but I just know that, like, dates aren't often mentioned, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm assuming it's moving in relative real time because, like, the Christmas episode did air in December, so I think we can assume it's near the end of the school year, that it's, like, around late April or early May.
Yeah. And January, he was still in Sweden, so...
Yeah.
Supposedly. And Maria's thinking, like, really... parsimoniously is the word I would use. Like,
ooh, what does that word even mean?
So parsimony is the idea of like looking at what's probable as opposed to like what's possible, right? Okay. Like the idea of like, if you hear hoofbeats, don't think zebra. It's probably a horse.
Got it.
Right? Like, it could be a zebra, but it's probably a horse. And so she's thinking more like reasonably.
I learned a new word. Thanks.
Parsimony.
Cool.
And Maria's also really triggered by Liz saying the word murdered.
Yes, she is.
She's like, people are having trouble accepting that it's a suicide. Some people have trouble accepting that it's a murder. That's a scary thing.
Yeah. because then there's even more unanswered questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Liz...
And it could mean others are in danger. It's like, it could, yeah.
Yeah. Liz. Playing with ones and zeros. That's not how ones and zeros work, Liz. Just because there's 20 ones and zeros does not mean that they correlate with individual letters of the alphabet. Where is your science brain? That's not how that works, Liz. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, come on, Liz.
But she's spiraling a little bit.
It's true. Like, a lot of it. And all 4 aliens are in the desert. Because that's where we go for serious conversations.
To the desert. That's where we can assure privacy.
And Michael is there, but we just saw him a second ago.
Yes.
In the music room with Maria.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, did he help her yet? Like, because he was like, okay, I'll help you. The scene ends, and then he's in the desert. It just seemed a little weird.
This is assumably the first time that Michael and Maria are speaking since the wake and the funeral, and he's trying to be a good boyfriend and like offering to help her with what she needs. But yeah, then cut to the desert and he's like magically there, and like how far away is the desert? I don't know.
It was just weird.
I mean, it's no Taco Shack like in season 1. In the pilot, which is like, potentially just like 10 minutes down the road. Like they are in the middle of nowhere.
This is like, who knows where they are. But, they love going to the desert. Mm-hmm. And Isabel brings up, the idea that like, is there a possibility that Liz is right? And Max fucking yells at her.
Yeah, he does. King Max. Not King here Max, for it.
His Royal Highness.
And Isabel still wants to go to college. Even though she's been waitlisted, she's still gonna work towards getting into college. Mm-hmm. Which I say, good for you.
Yeah. Like Max and Isabel are fighting. At the end of the scene, Max and Tess walk off like together, and she like has her arm around him. And it's very much like...
coupley?
Yeah, coupley, but also like a king and she's like supporting him or like following him. I don't know.
I getcha.
But yeah, clearly they're, like, close. Getting closer. So he talks about how he's scared to go home. And kind of, like, he's really opening up to her more. Because they're getting closer and closer, like we said. And that he feels like Earth seems more real because it's, like, what he has known.
Yeah. Which totally makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's only ever, like, heard of or dreamed of their planet.
Yeah, or, whatever he's learning from their sort of, like, meditation visualization exercises that he's been doing with Tess. But yeah, he doesn't have, like, vivid actual memories.
Right.
And now we get to go see your favorite person, Eliza.
Sean! Yay! Sean is back from, like, wherever he was last episode, Albuquerque or something. And he is working on the garbage disposal. May I just say swoon. Seeing him do some plumbing work, like, yes.
And he sent Liz flowers, which is, like, very sweet and considerate. And, like, acknowledges Liz's pain. Also very sweet and considerate.
Yeah. And Liz, also super sweet and considerate. Just uses him for his knowledge of breaking into somewhere. Yeah. And,
Although, to be fair, she does not ask him to go with her.
No,
nor does she seem to expect it. She's like, I know you can't go there. That's why I just, like, I'm asking for information. I would never ask you to go. I don't want to put you in that situation. Hard cut to Sean helping her break in.
Uh-huh. Like, a second after, and I even wrote in my notes, like, good for you, Sean. Like, being like, I can't help you with this.
Yeah.
But, nope. And it's also like, he likes her. She's, like, a high school kid. Like, he doesn't want her to, like, go alone. But, like, she did not ask him to help, and he shouldn't have done this.
No, he should not. Because they are gonna get caught. Of course they're gonna get caught.
Are. But she's, like, getting Alex's study abroad information. And, like, scans it, copies it, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're caught, obviously.
Of course, and the music is so dramatic. It's so dramatic.
Oh, it really is. Also, the guy who catches them is so dramatic.
Yeah.
What does he say? He's like, hold it right there, you two. But, like, the look on his face and the way he's, like, holding his flashlight at them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude.
I mean,
like,
this actor, that was his one line to, like, make his moment.
You can tell he really, like, went all in. Okay, what is up with the way that Michael approaches Max in this next scene with, like, a whistle? He, like, surprises him. He, like, whistles up at him. It's so weird to me.
There's a lot of, like, weird approaches in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, well, there's a lot of, like, Max being, like, pensive by himself. And then like,
someone showing up.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did you even know where he was?
Just being pensive in the dark by himself.
Typical Max. But yeah, Michael
offers to go talk to Isabel about college, which I guess is, like, him being the, like, the right-hand man to the leader.
Exactly what I wrote down.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening here.
And he's being very level-headed about it, too, which, like, Max has not been coming across as very level-headed, but, like...
Right.
But I still don't like this, like, ganging up on Isabel feeling that's happening.
No, I don't like this, like, Max being like, I
know best.
I am in charge. Like, what I say is final. Because it's also like, yeah, sure, maybe you were a king before. It doesn't mean you have to, like, be like that now.
Yeah. This can be a democracy, right?
Right, like, this is, whatever. Fuck that. But Michael does call him out for snapping at Isabel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
which I also
that.
feel like is a good part of being a right-hand man. Is also, like, helping put people in check when they need to be checked.
Mm-hmm. Totally. That's what a good right-hand man does. And he also says this brilliant line, I wouldn't want our leader to be forming his opinions on what he wants to be true instead of what really is true.
Yes!
And, like,
good
Max,
job, Michael!
listen up.
Good job, Michael! So level-headed.
And they talk about how they have, like, switched viewpoints from, like, when we first met them and, like, earlier in their lives. Like, you know, Michael has always felt on the outside, like, he's not really human, he's alien, he doesn't really belong.
Yeah, and he finally feels like he belongs here and, like, this is his life.
Mm-hmm. Just as Max is, like, feeling more and more like, you know, out there is his real life, and that's, like, where he's supposed to be. Which, like, you know, thanks in great part to Tess.
No earthbound love interest right now.
Right.
So he's feeling less connected, whereas Michael is, you know, despite all of their ups and downs and arguments, you know, Michael and Maria are closer than ever.
Yep.
Like, he just, you know, spent all that time at the DeLuca house helping both Maria and her mom, like...
Right.
Deal with things in the last episode, and he's more engrossed in their family than ever and, like, is feeling like he has a family.
Right, like, for the first time. Because even the Evans, like, they should have always welcomed him in. Like, they were family, but, like, he doesn't seem to have any kind of relationship with their parents. Their parents don't seem to, like, care about him. I think they think of him as, like, that bad influence kid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if, like...
That's just, like, my perception. I don't think they, like...
Yeah, no. I get the same impression, but I wonder if it's, like, I'm, like, thinking back on, like, what we know of their, like, when they were adopted, like, you know, Max and Isabel were found together, whereas, like, Michael had, like, taken off on his own or refused to come with or ran off scared and got found separately, so ended up in a separate situation. So who knows how long then they were parted from each other before they, like, re-met in school, too, you know? So the Evans parents may not, like, don't, maybe, I mean, they obviously don't understand the closeness and the association because they don't know that their kids are aliens and that they were, like, in a pod with this kid. So...
But, like, you would think, realistically, like, if they found these two kids in the desert... and adopted them, and, like, a day later or later that day, another kid around the same age was found also in the desert, like, within a certain radius. Like, maybe they were together, maybe they're related, you know? You would think that they would be like, oh my god, another kid was found.
Or even just later in life, the association that, like, oh, we're friends with this other kid who's an orphan. like, and who's stuck in foster care, and this is our best friend.
Right. Like, the desert, coming from the desert connection or not. Yeah. If they have a friend who, like, is in an abusive household.
Yeah. I mean, we've been through this before. The parents are not good adults, and, they just, like, they're only as involved as, 42 minutes of runtime allows them to be per episode.
Right. Like we talked about, like, there were more scenes with them.
Yeah.
They just didn't make it into the episode.
Yeah. And I'm sure when I was in high school watching this, it didn't even cross my mind, nor did I care that the adults weren't really in it and the children are just all left to their own devices. But rewatching it as a person who is old enough to be their parents 20 years later, I'm like, where are the parents?
Right. Back at the school, Hanson is there. He's being a dick to Sean.
Yep.
You're a real zero, Sean. You're a real zero, DeLuca. Or whatever.
This makes me, like, wonder how old is Deputy Hanson? And, like, how old is Sean? And, like, were they maybe in school together?
I feel like they're, like, probably around the same age. I feel like they definitely know each other.
Yeah, whether it's from, like, Sean's previous run-ins with the law, like, a couple of years ago, and he's only, like, 19, or is he more, like, 24 or 25? And, like, if Hanson went into the sheriffdom immediately after high school,
from
like,
high school,
they could be a similar age range.
I had the same thought that, like, maybe they like know each other from high school or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it could also just be, if Sean was only gone for, a year and a half, he could have done whatever he did and gotten arrested, like, immediately before the pilot and hasn't actually been out of the picture that long in, like, the grand scheme of Roswell. We don't know. But yeah. So much unknown with Sean's storyline.
And Sean covers for Liz, which, like, is what she should be doing.
Yes. She should be saying, no, this was my idea. I asked him for help.
It should not be him covering.
But of course it's him covering.
Right. And of course, like, young white girl, easy to just be like, oh, a warning. He says a strong warning.
Yeah.
Which, like,
your parents are good folk. This is a strong warning.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sean is taken off in handcuffs.
Yep.
And cut to the Valenti house for Sheriff Valenti and King Max to have a little private meeting.
Valenti is, like, really acting like Max is, like, another adult.
Mm-hmm. Which he is not.
He is not. He's, like, telling Max about Liz and Sean being at the school. Max is like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. And it's like, this could have absolutely nothing to do with aliens. Why does Max have to take care of it? Max and Liz are not even on good terms right now.
Nope. But he's like, well, I'm in charge. I'm the leader. I'll take care of it.
Blech.
Blech. Oh my God. At Liz's, she is like, I don't know what the term is for it. Like when somebody, I called it crazy all over the walls.
Oh, yeah. Like conspiracy theory is what I...
Oh, sure. Yeah, and like all the information and like notes and timelines. And
the
like,
strings connecting each other. Like it's very... Right. Yeah.
It's like Homeland. It reminds me of like Claire Danes' character in Homeland.
Mm-hmm.
But also it like in so many different, movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's calling the Olsens again.
Yeah. Again, apparently. And I wonder when the guy finally answers the phone later in the episode, I wonder how many messages has she left for them, because he's very brusque with her.
At least 5. I'm guessing closer to 10 or above.
Oh, probably. Yeah. She's probably calling multiple times a day, like just given her state.
She gives her number as being like 505-555 something something something. So I looked up 505 just to make sure. And like, from what I could tell, Roswell is 575 and 505 is like Albuquerque. But it's close enough. And this was many years ago. It may have changed.
That's true.
But she also says, call me back. Collect is fine. Yeah. So I also looked up, like, can you call Collect internationally? And like, yeah, you can. But
I bet that's expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. So Michael is, comes to tell Isabel, Max said you can't go.
And Isabel's already picking dorms. Even though she doesn't have an acceptance letter, she is very excited
Oh, I love this part where, you know, he's talking about the, like, logistics. And it's like, he's like, you're going to have to fly back all the time. Like, where are you going to get all the money for travel? And she's like, I'll change dollar bills into hundreds. And he kind of, like, is pulled out of, like, his whole mindset and, like, objective to be like, wait, you can do that?
Yeah. Wait, we could just do that?
Yeah. Wait.
You could pay my rent without working. Wait, what?
But it's also like, Michael, you had a lot of money. You threw it all away.
Yeah, you had so much money. But yeah, Isabel wants Max to say it to her face if he doesn't want her to go. I mean, he has already said he doesn't want her to go, but...
Yeah, she says, he'd best find the time to say it himself.
Yeah.
To which I say, he'd best? Is that how teenagers talk?
He'd
best find the time.
Yeah.
To talk to me himself. Yeah, it just seems like not the kind of colloquial talk that teenagers use.
The show's not written by teenagers? The show isn't real life, just like happening organically?
I think maybe this is what tipped me off.
Then we head to the yearbook room, the yearbook class. And the yearbook teacher is, she's a little frustrated with Maria.
I think she's like another student. I think she's just like the head of yearbook.
She seemed like maybe she was a faculty advisor. I don't know. I thought that too, and I thought she looked too old to be a student. So whoever it is, though, this person is a little frustrated with Maria's like lack of organization. Maria wants to include a poem that Alex wrote about the time that his dog's leg was amputated because that will really help people see
it'll be funny.
His sense of humor.
I'm like, I want to read that poem. I wonder if...
And I'm like, wait, Alex had a dog whose leg was amputated? What?
I know, it's the first we're hearing of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this, but I read it many times. And this woman, whoever she is, calls her Marina.
I thought it sounded a little weird but I didn't rewind it because Marina rhymes with Larina, so I often I'll say my name is Larina and people mishear me and then they call me Marina, and so like I went like my brain went skirt when that happened, but not enough to like rewind it and double check.
Yeah, I was like, because at first I'm like, oh, maybe she said like, Maria, now what we need to do, you know, like Maria now, but like, no, she said Marina. I rewound a bunch of times. And like, I am wondering if that was on purpose to be like, you know, this person like doesn't even know who Maria is, doesn't really care, you know, because she's like, oh, we're all devastated about Alex's loss, but, you know, yearbook is so important and we're already stopping the presses, you know, holding the presses for this. Yeah, it sucked. And Liz is not there. Surprise, surprise.
Nope. Because she is on the phone with the Swedish embassy, where she would like them to drop everything and tell her where the building is that is 4 stories and made of glass.
Yeah. She has this one picture and she says, I need you to find this one building.
Yeah, and the guy is like, look
in
kid.
Your entire country and find me this one building.
Look, kid, I'm busy. This is not like crime television of 20 years later where they do really just have like photo databases where they like find buildings. I mean, I'm assuming that like things happen on a crime TV. That is how they happen in real life. Because totally that is, right?
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah, but back in the year 2001, I don't think their building databases
they didn't have building databases.
Yeah, not quite so advanced.
At the embassy, maybe not like they do Sweden. Now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, so this is in the hallway that she's talking on this like little flip phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, she hangs up and Max is like, what the hell were you and Sean DeLuca doing here last night? And it's like, that's how you are going to, like,
nice intro,
her?
Man.
What the hell were you doing? Like, you think that's going to get you a good response? Have you met Liz?
Yeah, but he's more and more abrasive as this episode goes on. Yeah. And, like...
No, he's becoming a total dick.
Yeah.
And he said, he's like, I will consider the possibility that Alex was killed by an alien if you consider blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you're in the hallway talking at full volume.
Yeah.
Lower your fucking voice if you're going to talk about, like, if Alex was killed by an alien. And then a second later being like, you're going to blow our cover. Like, you're going to ruin our lives.
You're going to blow your own cover.
Yeah,
she has not done anything to draw attention to aliens in this episode.
She really hasn't.
Yeah. And he's yelling about it at full voice in the school hallways.
She may be, like, outrageously invested in this investigation to, like, an unhealthy degree, but she is not
talking about aliens. No.
She's just trying to find out what happened, whether it was an alien or not.
Yeah.
Oh, and then this really intense moment. She says, "Let go of me."
Yeah, and it's like he looks down and realizes that we realize he's grabbing her, but it's like he also realizes he had grabbed her.
Yeah, and he looks kind of like he, like, can't believe what he's become, or, like, you know, it's like he looks really, like, shocked that, like, oh my, I just grabbed her arm. And the second she says, "Let go of me," like, he does, he listens, and he's like, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah, but he needs to, like, take some notes from himself then, but he does not.
No, he doesn't.
And now we get some more pensive Max outside. And then Tess approaches him. And, like, Tess is, like, feeling, like, a little bit sexy to me.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to show Max something. And it just feels like it has this very, like, sexual undertone from Tess. And, I mean, they're gonna have sex later, so I guess that makes sense.
Right, so, yep. That tracks. Also, like, Emily Dravin is very sexy.
Yes, she is.
So, yeah, she's like, "Let me show you something," and takes him to this, like, observatory that they, like, somehow have access to and know how to, like, use all the equipment.
Yep. My guess is just, like, alien powers to, like, break in. I'm gonna guess that the planetarium is just, like, unlocked. I feel like that wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah. I just am having trouble suspending my disbelief. Like, at a place like this, there's security, maybe, like, a guard 24/7. Like,
yeah, like there was security at the school.
Yeah. And, like, at an observatory, like, there's extremely expensive equipment. I feel like there's, like, you just, like, they guard that stuff. Like, stuff can be done to harm people, maybe. I don't know. So I just, out of curiosity, looked up if there is an observatory like this in Roswell.
There's definitely a planetarium. I don't know if there's an observatory attached also.
There is a solar observatory nearby, and I don't know enough about, like, space observatories to know if, like, if you can also look at, like, nighttime space sky from a solar observatory. But I did learn that solar observatories are a thing, and they, like, examine, like, the surface of the sun and stuff.
I'm assuming in actuality that's probably, I think it's called the Griffin Observatory in LA.
You think oh, okay.
I'm assuming there is an actual observatory in LA, so I'm assuming that's where they are filming. But
yeah. So, but like you said, there is a planetarium in Roswell, the Robert H. Goddard Planetarium. Fun fact, Robert Goddard, rocket scientist, like, pioneering rocket engineer, was born in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool.
And so there are a lot of things named after him, including the library at the school that I went to, the university.
Also, fun fact, listeners, I'm going to go to Roswell in a few weeks, and I'm going to go to the Goddard Planetarium.
Yay! I'm so jealous.
Oh, I wish you both could come with me so hard.
I know. So another fun fact is, I guess the whole reason she brought him here is to point out this star, Barnard's star. It sounds like she said, like, Bernard's star.
I think that's just her accent.
She said, yeah, yep, there you go. That makes sense. And the whole purpose of going there was, to kind of help him feel like their planet is a little more real by being like, look, the star that we can see, you can also see that from our planet. So Barnard's star is a real star. I got off of the interwebs. It says, Barnard's star is a red dwarf about 6 light years away from Earth in the constellation of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. I think that's how you say it.
Okay. I believe you.
It's the 4th nearest known individual star to the sun after the 3 components of the Alpha Centauri system and the closest star in the northern celestial hemisphere.
Ooh.
Which, okay, 6 light years is like farther than really we can fathom.
Mm-hmm.
That star could have burnt out 3 years ago, and we still will be seeing the light of it for the next 3 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
But I guess what I was going to say is, like, yeah, 6 light years is super far, but relatively, in terms of the universe that we know,
it's very close.
The universe that we know of, it's close. This means that their planet is, like, somewhat close.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like 6 light years the other direction. So it's like 12 light years from us.
Right. 12 light years away, which, like, you know, as far as the entire universe goes, like, we're neighbors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she shows it to him, and then she says, that's reality. This is the dream. But, like, no, they're both reality.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is not a dream. This is reality, too.
Yeah, no, you
live here. A person
live here.
just died. Like, it's pretty real.
You live here. And then we head back to Liz's room, where this is where I wrote down that she's getting pretty wild with this conspiracy theory, which, I mean, we find out even by the end of this episode that it's not quite so conspiracy theory-y, but that's the way it's playing out right now. She's got her strings, connecting things, stuff all over the room, all this, like, wild research. Yeah. At this point, kind of semi-speculative research.
Yeah.
And... totally. This scene with Maria.
Yeah.
Poor Maria.
Because, yeah, it's not just that Liz is, like, you know, not believing that it was a suicide and, like, wanting to know more and investigating. It's, like, the way that she is, and that she is, like, doing it in a way that is pushing everybody else away and, like...
including her best friend.
Right, not recognizing her own feelings or the feelings of others. And, like, yeah, her best friend just lost her other best friend.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Maria says. She's like, I need you. Be sad with the rest of us.
Yeah. And she also says, I don't even know if I'm alive right now. Which is, like, a very intense statement.
Yeah, she's really suffering.
and Liz is like, do you not believe me either? And Maria's just like, I guess I don't. Like... they're so disconnected from each other for, you know, people who are supposed to be best friends.
Also, for Maria, like, you know, she's, like, working towards the point of acceptance. Mm-hmm. This will get in the way of acceptance. Like, it's hard.
Oh, absolutely. Because Liz is not in acceptance mode.
Right. And it's hard to be, like, kind of finding peace and, like, whatever when, like, Liz is bringing up all this shit. Mm-hmm. And, like, not kind of allowing anybody to move on. And Maria also calls her out for Sean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is, I think, like, what brings about the next scene. You know, because she's like, you're not caring about anybody. What about Sean?
Yeah, he literally, like, got arrested for you. Like, luckily he's not still in jail. Valenti was able to pull some strings, and it looks like Sean is back at home, but I'm sure his probation is fucked up.
Yeah, he says, he's like, I'll just be doing community service until I'm senile.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve, like, him caring about her this much and, like, risking his own shit for her.
No, she does not. Ugh. And then the episode ends with, like, her basically being like, we can't be involved with each other. Like, I have other shit going on. Thanks for the help, but bye. But then she, like, runs back and kisses him.
Yeah.
Which...
mixed messages much?
Yeah. And then she leaves, and he does not seem particularly happy about the kiss.
No. It's really not cool.
No, it's not cool at all.
He's like, is there anything... It's like, he's like, you won't let me hang out with you. I can't date you. Is there anything I can do with you? And she's like,
nope.
Not yet. I'm sorry. And then kisses him anyway.
Yep. Which is obviously for her own emotional reasons, not for him. Yeah.
Or, like, maybe, like, she thinks it's for him. You know, like, I think, like, it in a way it could be her being like, I'm trying to be nice. Like, I'm trying to, like,
I can give you this consolation prize.
Right. And it's like, that's not what he wants. No. He likes her. He wants to, like, spend time with her.
Yeah.
Not just, like, be kissed and then have her walk away. Ugh, and Maria shows up at Michael's and he forgot.
Ugh. And she's so distraught. He forgot and his phone was disconnected because he forgot to pay the bill. But she is freaking out.
Right. And it's not because he didn't pick her up.
Yeah, it's everything together. It's that he's not, she's right. He's not always going to be there. Like, right. He's going to go get on a spaceship and go away, and she's going to be left here alone.
Yeah.
And she won't have him, and right now she doesn't have her best friend. She just lost her other best friend. Like, she's losing everybody.
And it is, like, a totally normal thing when you lose someone in your life to then start, you know, feeling like you're going to lose other people.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, like, especially when it happens in such a, like, surprising way, unexpected way, you know? It's kind of like, you think about, like, when and how you're going to lose other people. So it makes sense that she is thinking about this. And she says, I can't lose anyone else. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And finally, on her 100,000th call, Liz,
Sweden.
Like, the phone is answered. And Lind says, stop fucking calling me. I'm not Mr. Olsen.
Go away. But, I mean, now she has one little piece of the puzzle solved, that this phone number that she got, assumably through the school files, or...
Yeah, I think that's where she got it.
That's not, that it's a fake number.
Yep. And she confirmed she dialed it right. It just is not a number for a family called the Olsens.
Yep. And then, like, good sleuthing skills, Liz, because then she, like, decides to follow up with the flower shop that sent the flowers that were signed from the Olsens.
Right. Somebody had to have sent those flowers.
That flower shop guy is running a business and not a detective agency, and he does not have time for her shit.
It's like, you don't understand how important this is.
And he's
like, it's a murder investigation.
Yeah, whatever, kid. Goodbye.
And so the normal thing to do when a florist won't give you the information you want is to go take all of your money out of the bank and fly to Sweden.
Absolutely.
All of her money. I mean, I'm assuming it's all of her money. Like, you know, for a teenager, $2,000.
Yeah. Buying a last-minute plane ticket's expensive.
Yeah, and the woman's like, oh, let me guess, first car? No, trip to Europe. And it fades to black. And you're like, oh, Liz, really? You're going to do this? Okay. And back to school.
Yeah. I do like, in this scene, Max has at least come up with an alternative option instead of just giving a hard no, but I feel like...
I was going to ask you how you felt about this.
I like that he's coming up with options instead of just being in charge. I mean, it's too little too late, because now Isabel's already pissed and already has her heart set on somewhere else. This is something that should have been brought, like... that if they had been able to have a conversation like normal people, maybe they could have come up to some sort of compromise earlier.
Yeah.
But then when Isabel is, like, not on board with his new plan,
I
do not like this. He tells her she has been indulged for too long. What the fuck? Excuse me. Excuse me.
And she, like... I really feel for her in this scene. Because she really is, like, she's trying to figure out, like, where she belongs in this world. And, like, is excited. And she says, I've played the role to perfection. Now it's my turn.
Yeah.
You know, she's worked so hard to, like, build up this, you know, herself in this community and whatever.
And she even says, the community of planet Earth. She's like, I played the game of a good human. Now let me reap the rewards of being a good human and do my own fucking thing.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
Yeah.
And he... Oh, and she also says, she's like, I can't believe you sent Michael to talk to me. It's like the alien mafia. Yeah. And, like, it really is. I mean, she says that, and a minute later, he's, like, threatening her.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the worst we've ever seen, Max.
Yeah, I do.
Nasty.
Do not like it.
Nasty dude.
Super
horrible.
Nasty. This is even worse than the usual Max, and the usual Max is already one of my least favorite characters.
Yeah. I only like drunk Max. And future Max is all right.
Yeah.
But drunk Max is fun. Anyway, yeah, he threatens her. I'll tell our parents you have a drug problem. I'll tell your teachers you cheated on all your tests. If you ever leave Roswell without my consent, I will physically drag you back. That's a threat of physical harm.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's
at
abusive.
All. Don't like it. Don't like it.
No, it's scary. And this like sets her off. You know, she takes the paper because she kind of like, she believes him.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, I'm fucked then. Like, so she like burns this paper in her hand. And then as she's walking away, this stupid kid, oh, Isabel Evans, you're so hot when you're pissed. She doesn't miss a fucking beat.
I love it.
She does not miss a beat. She does not look back. She just, with a flick of the hand, like throws him
across the hall. Yes.
It's amazing.
And then we get some more lovely Michael, not just taking care of Maria, but taking care of the whole DeLuca family.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this like very pitiful analogy where he compares himself to the garbage disposal.
It's like even less than thinly veiled. It's like,
oh yeah, with Mama DeLuca.
You can see right through it.
But then we get some wise words from Mama Amy, and she says, what if tomorrow isn't really something to worry about? You know? She's like, you can be here now. Like, you're here now, and you can be here now, and we'll worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, I'm going to repair this garbage disposal, and if later it breaks down and I need a different one, fine. But for now, I still like this garbage disposal.
Yeah. And it's also funny because, like, he's the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Like, he is comparing himself to a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
But I love their relationship in that, like, you know, like, it's not subtle. Like, they both know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that he, like, feels comfortable enough going to Maria's mom to talk to her about this. Because ultimately what it's about is, like, not wanting to hurt Maria, which is, you know, the most important thing to both of them.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Amy has said on the phone to Michael, if you ever hurt my daughter, I don't remember what she says she's going to do to him.
It's but like, I will hunt you down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Much like Max is going to hunt down Isabel, God. Except, you know, Amy said it in a fun way.
Right. And then Amy fixes the garbage disposal.
So she
thinks. Yeah. But it's sweet that he, like, yeah, he lets her, like, believe that it was her.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, like, Liz is at a bus stop or something.
Just, like, on the streets on the outskirts of Roswell, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's, like, not a bus stop. It's, like, where she's going, a random spot to get picked up
waiting
by a cab.
For the cab.
The way Max drives over. He, like, drives across a median, like, on the other side of the, like, opposite side of the street. He's just, like, drives right up to her.
Yeah.
Get in the car.
Yeah. More controlling. It's like he can't get control. Well, I guess he did get control of Isabel because Isabel burned up her school application or whatever she was working on. So,
yeah,
you know, he got her to fall in line, and now he's desperately trying to get Liz to fall in line, and Liz will not be controlled.
No, not at all. He also is like, what'll you tell your parents? Which, like, wow, Lisa would be proud. Because finally someone is recognizing. I mean, I guess we've heard it before, but, like, it's just funny. He's like, you can't just leave. What'll you tell your parents?
So much of the show, though, they do just leave, and they don't seem to tell their parents anything.
Right. It's just funny that he brought it up this time. And that her answer, like, isn't even a good one.
No.
She's like, oh, I'll tell them that, like, my friend in Florida had a crisis and I had to go to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good excuse, but at least
like,
she has
what friend?
one.
And you can't, like, just...
You're a minor.
You can't just leave. Like, your parents won't like that excuse either.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But I mean, at least she has one. It's better than not having any excuse at all.
Right. Like, she has a plan, and that's fine. Yeah, this intense confrontation. She's like, I'm not Isabel. You can't control me.
Yeah, you can't pull that king card on me, she even says at some point.
Yeah.
In this argument. And he tries to hold their friendship over her. And, I mean, I don't think they have much of a friendship going on right now anyway. And so Liz is not really concerned about that. She's gone. No,
I mean, she has a one-track mind right now. Like, it's Alex. It's about Alex.
Yeah.
And he's like, you'll be like, you're ruining lives. And she's like, no, I could be saving them. And like, she has a point. You know, like, if it was an alien that killed Alex, like, they could all be in danger.
Yeah, if it's some sort of alien attack.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I really like the, like, little vintagey red cab that shows up at the end of the scene.
I know, so
it's
cute.
Very cute. Very cute.
But yeah, she does not listen to him, and I fucking love it.
Yeah. And now we get the sweetest Michael that ever sweeted.
The sweetest Michael that ever Michaeled.
Yeah. He is waiting for Maria, and Maria is still upset and distressed that he's gonna leave, and he's just like, but I can give you now. Oh!
And then he's like, so I was thinking this could go with that. And it's like, he's doing the yearbook thing with her.
Even more sweet. Even if it was something that's literally off the top of his head and like put a picture here or whatever just to say something nice. Like, he's at least thinking about it.
It's about the principle of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That like, he's not just trying to be a good boyfriend. He's trying to be a friend, because a friend is what she needs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
yeah,
her friend is not there for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just so sweet. He's amazing. I love the character development.
Yes.
I love like how he has grown and learned. He's the best.
Yeah, some of the characters have felt kind of static in this series, but Michael is not one of them.
Yeah, not at all. And unfortunately, neither is Max. It's like, I would be fine with Max having stayed the same instead of being this...
Instead of getting worse.
Power trip, royal asshole. Royal pain in the ass. So, yet again, pensive Max standing by himself.
See, so many times in this episode.
Parking lot of the observatory. And Tess is like, oh, I thought I'd find you here.
Yeah, I thought I would find you.
Like, how did she just know? Don't they have cell phones?
I mean, they do, but it's 2001. Cell phones aren't a big thing yet.
It's still, like, normal to just, like, walk up, like, knock on someone's door.
Just, like, call people on real phones or, like, But Max is ready to be an alien.
Yep.
And Tess will be with him forever. So let's get sexy.
And the kiss, it's like, it's way too up close and way too slow. It was, like, really uncomfortable to watch.
Mm-hmm. And then we get this little, like, montage. We get...
It's, like, back
Liz
and forth
is
of
running!
Why. These parallel scenes, but, like,
Max
why?
is kissing, but it's not Liz. Liz is running! Max is kissing and Tess is stripping! And Liz is running! And then the embassy guy calls her back. Nice job, embassy guy!
Like, right in the nick of time.
Yeah, like right as she's literally on the tarmac going to load onto the airplane when we find out that building, it did exist in Sweden, but it was torn down in 1994.
Bum, bum, bum.
So there is some Photoshop skills going on here.
Yep. And so Liz kind of says to herself, she's like, he never went to Sweden.
Yeah. So she doesn't need to go to Sweden. I hope she can get her money back on that plane ticket.
I know.
Otherwise she just drained her savings for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then cut back to the planetarium and we have sex and sex and sex and stars.
Sex and sexy and stars. And it fades out on that like V of stars where their planet is.
Yep. There we go.
And holy shit.
Yep. And Lisa thought that Liz and Max would be back together by the end of the first episode of season 2. And here we are in episode 18, and not only have they not really ever gotten back together during this whole season, but now he's making sexy time with Tess.
Yeah, not only are they not together and he's having sex with someone else, they are like particularly antagonistic toward each other right now.
Yes.
You know, like they are really, really clashing.
Mm-hmm. Well, is this episode at least enough of a turn from last episode that we can do hot and saucy today? I know I have my pick.
I think it's okay to do hot and saucy. Now let's see who's hot and saucy.
My pick for hot and saucy today is the wonderful, wonderful Michael. Specifically, when he says, I can give you now. And that's it. Yes. That moment. Favorite moment.
That is a great moment. My hot and saucy moment is really hot.
Okay.
And it's really saucy.
Okay.
And it's when Isabel fucking flings that dude back.
I did think of that one for the sauciness of it. But I decided to go, like...
But Michael...
You're usually more saucy, and I'm usually more, like... Consent and romanticism is sexy, so it's hot.
Oh yeah, this was not consensual in the least.
Yeah, no.
The one I picked. And you know what? Fuck that guy, so.
Yeah. I did like that moment a lot as well. Another highlight of the episode, so.
Just the fact that she didn't even look back or like, yeah, she didn't miss a beat. She really just immediately just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, July 6th with Season 2, Episode 19, Baby It's You.
You can follow us on all the social medias, on Twitter and Instagram at Roswell Hot Sauce, and also on TikTok at Roswell Hot Sauce for fun videos and content. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Roswell Hot Sauce. You can always find our website at www.roswellhotsauce.com or shoot us an email with questions, comments, concerns, ideas at roswellhotsauce@gmail.com.
Pass the Hot Sauce is produced and edited by Ashley Hullett. Our theme music is by David Belcourt, and our logo was designed by Billy Murray.
Until next time, remember...
I'm trying to run a business, not a detective agency.